are seasons in life where the hands of time seem to turn in slow motion, where the space between you and destiny stretches into an aching distance. You wonder if the waiting is a test or a sign, if the delays are denials or simply divine orchestration. But hear this, what is meant for you will not be lost. What is woven into the fabric of your purpose cannot unravel by human hand. Every longing, every unanswered question, every moment where silence seems louder than certainty, it is all part of the sacred pattern. The unfolding of love is not random. It is a masterpiece in motion, stitched together with trials, with lessons, with the refining fire of time itself, until you and that person stand together side by side in the fullness of divine intent. Certain things will keep circling back. They are not distractions. They are whispers from eternity, reminding you that the story is not over. There are moments in life when we mistake silence for absence, when we confuse delay for denial. We cry out for answers, for movement, for signs that what we feel in the depths of our spirit is not a dream of our own making, but a whisper from eternity. And yet, the more we search, the longer the wait seems to stretch before us like an unending desert. But hear me, divine delays are never denials. They are sacred preparations, orchestrations of the unseen, refining you for what you have been destined to receive. It is easy to become impatient when you believe something belongs to you, when you sense in your spirit that a certain person, a certain love has been woven into the tapestry of your existence. You may find yourself pleading, asking, why not now? But the question should not be, why is it taking so long? The real question is, what is being built within me while I wait? Because waiting is never empty. Waiting is the space where faith is tested, where character is shaped, where the rough edges of impatience, pride, and fear are sanded down until what remains is a vessel strong enough to hold the blessing that is coming. Some of the greatest unions, the most profound love stories have been sealed not in moments of passion, but in seasons of separation. Seasons where two souls had to grow before they could meet at the right time, in the right way, for the right purpose. If you were to receive too soon what is meant to be yours, would you be ready to keep it? Would you be strong enough to carry it? You cannot rush what is meant to last forever. What is forged in the fire of patience cannot be easily broken. And yet I know how hard it is to trust the unseen. I know the ache of wondering whether what you feel is real, whether the longing in your spirit is divine or merely your own desire echoing back at you. But there is something undeniable about a connection that has been ordained. It does not fade. It does not lose its grip on your spirit. It may be quieted for a season, but it never disappears. That is why even when you try to move forward, something holds you. Even when you attempt to silence the voice in your heart, it continues to whisper. That is why no matter how much time passes, something within you refuses to fully let go. But here's the truth. You are not waiting on time. You are waiting on alignment. Time is never the issue when it comes to divine will. Time is simply the tool. It stretches, it slows, it hastens only when the heart is ready to receive. There are lessons that must be learned before love can be fully realized. There are pieces of your soul that must be strengthened before you can stand beside the person meant for you. You must become the answer to the prayers you have prayed for another. And until that transformation takes place, the delay will continue, not to harm you, but to prepare you. So do not despise the waiting. Do not curse the silence. Do not mistake the pause for abandonment. What is yours cannot be taken. What is divinely assigned cannot be stolen, but it can be forfeited if impatience leads you to settle for what is not meant to be. You must trust the process even when you do not understand it. You must trust the unfolding even when the road is unclear. The greatest love stories are not written in haste. They are written in faith. And when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, when all has been refined, nothing and no one will be able to keep you from what has been set aside for you. Let the waiting do its work. Let it shape you. Let it refine you, for what is coming is far greater than what you can yet comprehend. And when it arrives, you will look back and realize every delay was mercy. Every silence was strategy, and every moment of waiting was worth it. There are moments in life when the unseen speaks louder than the visible, when everything in the natural world seems silent, but the spirit within you knows beyond logic, beyond explanation, beyond the constraints of time, that something is shifting, something is unfolding, and yet the mind wrestles with the silence, trying to decipher what the heart already understands. You have felt it, haven't you? A stirring that won't go away, a pull towards something, towards someone that logic tells you to release, yet your spirit refuses to let go. It is not wishful thinking. It is not imagination. It is the quiet but unshakable movement of divine alignment, working behind the scenes, preparing hearts, orchestrating moments, refining purpose until the time is right. But here's the thing. When something is meant for you, the evidence will not always come in ways you expect. You will not always hear words of assurance. You will not always see immediate confirmation. Instead, you will notice the persistence of presence, the consistency of connection, the undeniable truth that no matter how much space or time stretches between you, something remains. And that something is not ordinary. It is not of this world. When you are being led towards someone by divine instruction, there will be a peace that makes no sense. Even in the uncertainty, even in the waiting, there will be a knowing that defies circumstances, that withstands doubt, that cannot be shaken by what is or is not happening in the physical realm. Because what is being built is not merely a relationship, it is a foundation. It is a connection that has existed long before you ever gave language to it. But just because something is meant to be does not mean it will be easy. You will be tested. The distractions will come. The voices of fear, of impatience, of compromise will whisper, urging you to take matters into your own hands, to settle for something easier, something immediate, something that does not require faith. But hear me, anything that comes outside of divine timing will not last. Anything that is forced, manipulated, or rushed will eventually crumble. But what is built on the blueprint of eternity that will stand through every storm. So pay attention. Pay attention to the ways you are being prepared. Pay attention to the lessons in front of you, to the refinement happening within you, because before you are given what is yours, you must be molded into the person who can receive it. You must become the answer to the prayers you have prayed. You cannot ask for a love rooted in patience if you yourself are unwilling to wait. You cannot ask for a connection anchored in faith if you yourself are driven by fear. This is why the process matters. This is why you must not rush past the waiting, the stretching, the breaking, and the rebuilding. What is being cultivated in the unseen will be revealed in its time, and when it does, it will be undeniable. Because when something is divinely orchestrated, it does not rely on human effort. It does not require manipulation, persuasion, or control. It simply is. It moves in perfect rhythm, aligning pieces, shifting circumstances, opening doors that no one else could have opened. And in that moment, when the revelation comes, when clarity replaces confusion, when what was once hidden becomes clear, you will understand none of the waiting was wasted. None of the silence was empty. Every delay, every prayer, every moment of doubt was preparing you for the fulfillment of what had already been set in motion. So do not let impatience rob you of what is being prepared. Do not allow fear to push you into settling for what is easy instead of waiting for what is right. Because when the time comes, when the veil is lifted, when the orchestration of eternity finally collides with with the present moment, you will stand in awe of what has been written for you all along. There comes a time in the journey when everything around you seems to contradict what your spirit knows to be true. When the road ahead feels uncertain, when silence replaces clarity, when the very thing you thought was a sign seems to fade into the background. But hear me, just because something is not immediately visible does not mean it is not real. Just because you cannot see the hand of divine orchestration does not mean it is not moving. There is something powerful about the unseen, about the way the spiritual realm works beyond human understanding. When something is meant for you, when a divine connection is being established, you must learn to discern beyond the physical. Because what is happening is bigger than what the eye can perceive. It is a work that takes place in the deep, in the quiet, in the spaces where patience is required and trust is tested. Have you ever wondered why some things seem delayed? Why the very thing your heart longs for appears just out of reach? It is not because you have been forgotten. It is not because the promise is void. It is because there are things that must be settled before alignment can happen. Sometimes the answer is not no, but not yet. Not because you are being denied, but because something greater is being refined. Hearts must be prepared, seasons must shift, the right doors must open. Because when something is divinely set apart, it will not be rushed, it will not be given prematurely, it will not arrive before its appointed time. And this is where faith is tested. This is where you must decide whether you will trust the process, whether you will surrender to the timing that is greater than yours. Because the truth is, the waiting is not a punishment, it is a preparation. It is the stretching of your spirit, the refining of your heart, the deepening of your trust. You see, when something is truly meant for you, it will not come by force. It will not require you to beg, to chase, to manipulate outcomes. It will not leave you in a state of confusion or exhaustion. Instead, it will be marked by peace, by a knowing that transcends understanding. Even when things are not fully revealed, even when circumstances do not make sense, there will be a stillness within you that confirms what the physical world has yet to show. This is why you must be careful not to mistake waiting for rejection. Because the waiting is not about proving your worth. It is about aligning you with the right moment, the right version of yourself, and the right circumstances that will sustain what is being given to you. And when the time comes, when the appointed moment arrives, you will realize that nothing was missing. Nothing was delayed. Every step, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty was leading you here. And what once seemed like a long and winding road will suddenly make sense, because what is written for you will find you in its time. So hold on. Do not let impatience drive you into a lesser version of what is meant for you. Do not let fear convince you that silence is the absence of purpose. Something is happening, something is shifting, and when the divine orchestration reaches its fullness, you will see what was meant for you was always on its way. There is a moment when the noise of the world fades, when distractions lose their grip, and you are left with nothing but the weight of what you know deep in your soul. That knowing, that undeniable stirring within you is not mere emotion. It is not imagination. It is the movement of something greater, something divine, something calling you into awareness. Because when something is meant for you, heaven does not whisper it aimlessly. It does not give signs that lead to confusion or tug your spirit without reason. There is a purpose behind the longing. There is intentionality behind every nudge, every moment of clarity, every instance where your heart catches something your mind cannot fully comprehend. The truth is, divine alignment does not come with chaos. It does not leave you in a constant state of doubt. Yes, there will be moments where patience is required, moments where trust is tested, but the confirmation will come. Not always in the way you expect, not always according to your timeline, but in a way that leaves no room for denial. You see, there is a difference between human attachment and divine connection. One will leave you exhausted, grasping for something that never settles in your spirit. The other will pull you into a deeper understanding and awareness that this is different. This is not a fleeting desire. This is not something that can be shaken by time or distance or uncertainty. That is why before the fullness of what is meant for you arrives, you will notice something: the inability to walk away completely, the inability to shake what has been placed in your heart. No matter how much you try to dismiss it, no matter how much you attempt to move in a different direction, the connection remains. And it is not a connection built on obsession or desperation. It is not fueled by fear or insecurity. It is something else entirely. It is a tethering, a divine intertwining, a pull that defies logic because it was never rooted in logic to begin with. It was placed there, ordained before you even knew to recognize it. But hear this: divine connection does not demand, it does not beg, it does not manipulate. It does not require you to prove your worth or fight for what is already written. Instead, it invites, it speaks to your spirit before your mind can fully grasp it. It draws you with peace, even in the waiting, even in the not yet, because there will be moments when fear tries to creep in, when doubt tells you it was all in your head, when the distance feels too great, the circumstances too impossible. But divine things are not limited by human constraints. What is written does not falter because of time or obstacles. It unfolds as it was meant to at the appointed time in the appointed way, with the certainty of a promise that cannot be broken. So if you find yourself wrestling, if you find yourself questioning why something remains when everything else is faded, understand this: when heaven speaks, it does not speak in vain. When a connection is divinely authored, it does not unravel because of time, nor does it lose its meaning because of delay. And when the moment of fulfillment comes, when the waiting has done its work and the alignment is complete, you will not have to force it. You will not have to wonder if it was real. You will know. Because what is truly meant for you does not pass you by. It finds you in its perfect time. There comes a time in your journey when the weight of all you've seen, all you've felt, and all you've endured begins to make sense. You begin to recognize that nothing, absolutely nothing, was random. Every closed door, every delayed prayer, every moment where you questioned if you were forgotten was shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the promise that was always meant to be yours. And when it comes to matters of the heart, to love divinely orchestrated, the process is no different. There is a reason the journey has unfolded as it has. There is a reason certain people left, a reason others remained, a reason your heart has been drawn in a way your mind cannot fully comprehend, because before anything is revealed in the natural, it is settled in the unseen. Before two paths converge in divine union, the preparation must take place. The refining, the strengthening, the lessons that are not merely for the sake of the relationship, but for the calling that comes with it. Because this is not just about love. It is not just about companionship. It is about destiny. It is about purpose. And purpose cannot be rushed. Purpose cannot be placed in the hands of those who are not ready to carry it. That is why even now the waiting is not passive. Even now the pieces are moving. Even now things are aligning in ways you cannot yet see. And if you have felt the ache of longing, if you have wrestled with doubt, if you have wondered why your heart still holds on to a promise that has not yet manifested, understand this: the waiting is not in vain. The delay is not denial. The silence is not absence. It is all part of the preparation. Because when something is truly meant for you, it does not require striving. It does not require you to force doors open or chase what was always meant to find you. The only thing it requires is alignment. That is why before the fulfillment, you will notice something: growth. an undeniable transformation happening within you, a shedding of the things that can no longer go with you, a deepening of wisdom, of discernment, of faith. Because when the appointed time comes, you must be ready to love without fear, ready to walk in the fullness of the connection, ready to build something greater than yourselves. And you cannot do that if you are still bound by old wounds, if you are still carrying doubts that should have been surrendered long ago. So if the waiting has felt long, if the stretching has been painful, if the refining has left you weary, take heart. This is the sign that something greater is ahead. The delay is only proof that what is coming is worth the... And when it finally arrives, when the waiting gives way to fulfillment, when the moment you have prayed for stands before you in undeniable clarity, you will understand why the process was necessary. You will understand why it could not have come a moment sooner, why certain things had to fall apart so that something greater could come together. Because when love is divine, it does not come to play games. It does not come to waste time. It comes to fulfill a purpose. It comes to shift the course of destiny. It comes not just to complete you, but to propel you into the next level of your journey. And so even now, the preparation continues. Even now, what is meant for you is being refined, just as you are being refined. And when the moment comes, when all things align, you will not have to question it. You will not have to force it, because what is truly meant for you will not pass you by. It will arrive in its perfect time, undeniable, unshakable, and ready to fulfill what was written long before you even knew to ask for it